Hello. Second stream. Hopefully the internet survives a little bit, but we won't know till time tells us. So, the plan for today is, of course, we're going to start off with a Pomodoro session of Code Wars, and then after that, we're going to do one and a little bit of tweaking to the Cocktails DB API displayer that I worked on yesterday, because I didn't make it a carousel, and that was part of the requirements to make it a carousel search result. So I'll just show it. GitHub.com. Where is it? Drink picker. There we go. So this is what I was able to finish yesterday's stream, and it's working. It works great. Watch. Marg. Look at all these margaritas, and you pick one, and it works. And it's in the URL, so when you refresh the page, it comes back. It's the best CSS you've ever seen. Look at these lines. They're amazing. But the thing is that when you go back to Marg, this is not a carousel per se, so that's what we're going to be doing second Pomodoro session. And internet permitting, I will be making the ultimate random animal API, random animal front end, using a collection of various APIs. And the cool thing is that it's going to be very object oriented, because not all APIs are equal. But we're going to use the dog one, we're going to use a cat one, there's a bird one, a fish one, there's even an elephant one. Who makes these things, right? So we're going to use as many APIs as we can shove into that one. And the reason it's going to be object oriented is because they're all going to extend some form of base class, and then each one will inherit from that to do its unique things. Like, the most obvious unique thing will be the actual fetching of the API, because all the URLs are different. Some other unique things are like the dog API allows you to filter by breed, so there are some unique controls it has, etc., etc. But that is all with time and network permitting. We're going to start with a Code Wars. So allow me to start this timer. As you all can see, I fixed my timer. We can actually type in it this time. Still gotta type seconds, but that's my problem, not y'all's. And before we get started, I wanted to I wanted to thank and test, because I didn't realize. We're gonna see if this works. So appreciate Janine for following. Push the button. Okay, there it is. No, wow, that has been broken style. Push it again. Okay, there we go. For some reason, the follow notification CSS does not load first time. I mean, I know what reason. It's because it's a little weird load order, but this is like hooked through Streamlabs or whatever, so it's supposed to just work. Doesn't, obviously. This is what I get for going with custom HTML. So thanks for the follow, Janine, and thanks for the follow this. And yeah, seeing that those did not crash my computer, everything is good, not on fire. So let's do some Code Wars, 7KUs as usual. If y'all have any suggestions for Code Wars you'd like to see, feel free to drop them in the chat. But until then, whoa, what is this? Takes an array and combines them into words in a sentence. Oh, okay, so yeah, this is a multidimensional array, so an array of arrays, and each of those arrays represent a word, so the goal will be to take each word and join them all together. So, oh, never mind. So now that I'm reading this, I can see it is a kind of rotated array. Just live life, man. Ah, okay, so it's not as straightforward as I thought it would be, but this is still not impossible task. Okay, we have all these empty ones that won't matter. Okay, so I'm thinking right off the bat, I could rotate this two-dimensional array, which is kind of the mathy way to do it. And then once they're rotated, I would do what I was initially thinking and join them based on each array, and then join each of those with a single space character. But that's the mathy way, and I can't recall exactly how to rotate a two-dimensional array, so I won't. I will traverse it manually, like a Sudoku solver, column, and then row. So, I guess we'll start off with... So I don't want to store this data is what I'm thinking. It's because I can store them as like words equals an array of strings. First, let's zoom this in, so I can't read it. There we go. So we can go with an array of strings, and this will be just then live as I go through this two-dimensional array. I could do that. Alternatively, I can make it a sentence or a single string, just live, and continually build on it. And when I get to the last one, I will substring it or slice it to trim off the last space. Well, I won't add the last space in the first place. I think I'll go with an array though, because that seems to be the simplest data structure. No need for all the complexity just yet. We're not at the point where we can Code Wars optimize it. So yeah, now we need to traverse it not row by row, but by column, column by column. Hey, Janine. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the follow earlier. How you doing? I'm just starting off with a Code Wars real quick to wake up the brain. So, traversing by column, let C equals 0, C less than array length, and then C++. So that should be, well, that's the length of the array. It's going to be 4. It's also going to happen to be 4. Ah, dang, that sucks. Yeah, I've been lucky. Actually, yeah, I probably have gotten it in the past, just was lucky with the symptoms on it. Yeah, Code Wars is a good, a good refresher to just, basically just get some free wins in there. Yeah. If you got any things Code Wars you'd like me to see me try or solve, feel free to drop it in the chat. I am open after I get this one done, of course. So let's see. Oh, you did, huh? Okay. Yeah, because I can either rotate the array like a 2D rotation or do the normal math way. I think I'm just gonna do the normal iteration, but what a coincidence, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to use the length of the 0th since it always seems to say. Const word equals empty string and let, because I can't use const for let. Then it literally row count, so r equals 0, r under array length, r plus plus, word plus equal. So this is column traversing it left to right. Maybe? I don't know, I'm not sure which way I've written this. I could have written it backwards. We will find out. Array, column, row? Because the row is what needs to be changing. The column. Yeah, I think I may have named these backwards. We'll just see. Console, full, log, row. Expected. Got, where's my console log? You didn't. Thank you, console. Include the letters without the blanks. Next version. Oh yeah, I think I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I might try the next version of this. Seems interesting. So let's see what I have not done right. Let's just throw any old console in here. This Code Wars doesn't appear to be consoling my stuff. There's the console. Okay, so console log row. Well, of course row and work. That's not a variable name. Okay, still not doing what we want. Let's give us a free tag by putting it in an object. Nothing there. Okay, so must be my for loop. Oh yeah, length is 0. What is this? That's never gonna work. It's 0.length. Okay, there we go. Just live life, man. The mitochondria is the powerhouse. Good console logging, so... Yeah, see, this is why I like TypeScript. TypeScript would have told me, you're doing something wrong. JavaScript's like, sure, you can do that. So now that I have all the words, I will add it to the words. No, now I have a word, I will add it to my words array, words.push, word, and I will return all the words joined with spaces. Like that. Now this works. I'm trying to think if because I don't believe this is, I mean this works, but I'm trying to think if there's a more readable way to do it. Oh, this is awkward. I did not start the timer. I think it's been, yeah, it's been 5 minutes. There we go. So let's think. Think. Yeah, because these are my columns. Let's just console log some of this. Console dot log. See if that looks right. And of course, it doesn't work until you fail a test or you run the big one. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, this is accurate. Just my brain has not woken up yet to recognize how accurate it is. Okay, I don't believe this gets any more optimal than it already is. Can I make it code warsy though? We're always guaranteed at least one word. So I think I'm safe there. So I could be safe and make sure that the array has a length. Let's go ahead and do that. If not array dot length, return empty string. There we go. Feel much safer now. Let's see how cool people did it. Okay, yeah. I and J. Oh, here's the Code Wars solution. Yep, I can't read that. Ooh, Lodash does magic stuff. Unzip. Must do something with their columns already. Zip, a map. Yep, all these fancy Lodashes. Let's see how my fellows did it. And there's yours. Yeah. Basically the same. You're making sure for the length. Try drop caps. Oh, that's the next solution, right? Or the next kata in this series. I believe that's, I'm thinking you mean that's what it's called, so search drop caps. Drop caps. Ooh. Okay, try drop caps. You mean drop the words that start with capitals? Not sure. Drop caps. Make sure my search. That's not there. Let me see. The next version of this kata should include letters without the blanks. Maybe the author. Oh no, I'm doing sevens. Maybe I just typed this query wrong. Let's type drop. Oh, drop caps, no space. There it is. You were right. I just hadn't figured this out yet. I believe this is... Oh, is this not the drop caps you were mentioning? Drop zone, egg drop. First letter of the starting word should be in caps and remain lowercase. Let's do every word in the string, capitalize. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I know there's a little delay working second stream. Gotta figure all this out. I appreciate it. Okay, so we capitalize every word. Oh, we also gotta fix the case of the broken ones. Okay, at least one word. String is input, string is output. Okay, yeah, I think I see this. So let's see. Task to capitalize every word that has a length of greater than 2, leaving the smaller words, quote, as they are. I'm correcting this. So we don't have any examples of smaller words left as they are. Let's see. More than one space, revolution of. Do they do no? Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go with it and see how the test case is handled. Because what I'm thinking is when they say leave as they are, it means if they give me something like this, should I lowercase to of, or quote, leave as they are and leave as literally capital O, capital F. But I won't know till I run this on the test. So we're given a string, and we want to do something to all the words. So that looks to me. Now we're keeping multiple spaces. So if we were to do a split, we would need to do a split on the groups. We would need to make sure to keep all the spaces there. Okay, so we're just gonna start with some console logs. And we'll do n.split. I believe, watch me get this wrong. If we do a regular expression, and we put that regular expression in a group, we say make it global, it will keep all of these spaces. So apple space banana, this is good. So then what I can do is on my map, if it's a word, then I'll have to figure out how it's a word. Once I figure out it's a word, perform the capitalization change. If it's not a word, even if it's not a word, I can still perform the change. They just won't have any effect. So yeah, I think this is the solution. Map part. So we need to check if the capitalize every word that has a length greater than 2. So part.length greater than 2, not greater than or equal to. So we're using the greater than sign. So just this. So if it's greater than 2, then part 0 to uppercase. So it's taking the first letter, capitalize it. Yeah, I've done that before. You just be like, I see a space, I replace all with like weird symbols. Yeah. I've done that before, except I think usually I go with a I replace it with no op or something extremely unique, but symbols would also do the trick. So yeah, capitalize the first letter and then do part slice 1, which gets a substring of the array starting from this index. So we skip the first one, we only want everything after that, and we want to lowercase it. Otherwise, we'll just take it as it is, and we'll join it back together with nothing. Now I'm about to fail this test, and I won't. Okay, so I've written a very Code Wars solution. Let's make this readable. Const words equals here for const part of and a split. Actually, we'll leave that there. I don't want to break it. For word of there, if part dot length greater than 2. We do something else. We do something else. So if it's this one, then we're pushing to our lovely words array. Words.push. The uppercase first, the capitalize basically. This performs the capitalization on the string. If it's not, though, we're returning just the word. We're not returning, pushing to the array. Words.push, just the word. Of course, it's not a variable name. It's called part. Then we will return words.join. I think, yeah, we still need to use an empty string. And that is working. I'm trying to think if there's any way besides a replace or a regular expression that I skip out on using, if there's any alternative, simpler way besides using the very unique behavior of regular expressions and capture groups when used on JavaScript splits. That is very, like, I don't, like, this wouldn't work in Python off the top of my head, for example. Is there a better way? I guess the manual way would be traversing through all the characters once you hit a alphanumeric or alphabetical character. That's where you stop with your pointer, and then you start a second loop to traverse until you reach the end of the alphanumeric character, and those are your 2 pointers. Take that out, place it, put it back in. 2 arrays, one that grabs the indices of the items to uppercase, and the other that splits and joins. Yeah, so I believe, yeah, grab the indices, so it'll traverse through and literally find the first alphanumeric, add that indice and the other indice. Yeah, I believe that would work. Alright, I'm gonna give that one a shot real quick, see if I can pull that off. It const. Well, this is all happening on the same word, so maybe I can avoid the array and do it just because I'm storing the indices, but then I'm doing something to the indices that has no impact on the order since all this length is the same. So I might be able to do it without indicing at all. So for let start equals 0, start less than n, start plus plus, and of course that is end.length. And now before let, well, we don't do that yet. So what we need to do is we need to check if the character is alphanumeric. My mind instantly jumps to a regular expression. I could just literally define the alphabet and be like, hey, do we include it? That's a regular expression. I don't want to do that. That's another regular expression. Huh. That seems good enough. So we'll check if this is a letter. You know, and I'll make this nice and outside is letter, car. Oh, and I'll just use C. Great copy and pasting skills. Okay, so if is letter, start. Well, actually, if it's not a letter, we're just going to continue. We want to skip through the spaces. Now, if, well, now that I've continued, only the true these of is letter will be here. So now we look for the end. End equals 0. Yeah, it wouldn't be is 0. It'd be start plus 1 n less than n dot length. End plus plus. And then we need to find when it's not a letter. So if, well, we also need this to define outside. End equals start plus 1, because we need access to this outside of our for loop. There we go, because at the end, we'll need to do our magic splicing. So let's see, if is letter. Yes, good one there. I always misspell that. And that would have caught me too. Good catch there. And length and there we go. So if is letter, so we need to check if it's not a letter. That's when we'll break. So if it's not a letter, and obviously I'm using the indices, and so I have to update this one accordingly. There we go. So if it's not a letter, we break. Now, before we go any further, so I'll make sure log start end. Just make sure these look all right, at least for the first test case. 0 to 5, 1 to 5. Ah, yeah. So when that happens, start will also need to equal to end. Got to move that pointer forward. Here we go. So 0 to 5 and 6 to 12. Of what string? Who knows? What string are we messing on? Cancela log, yeah. Console. Yep, got a lot of those typos. Apple banana. So 0 to 5, 6 to 12. The indexing or the indicing looks like it's working. Now we do the replacement. So n equals, well, let me try to think of the way to do this. To the console. There we go. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F. Say we want to replace B, C, D, or C, D with something else. So n equals A, B, C, D, E, F. And let's do the next one. A, as you can see, great variable naming. A equals n dot sub splice from 0 to the index, which is 2, plus n dot splice starting at the end, 0, 1, 2, 3 to the end. And of course, splice isn't the function, it is slice. There we go. I don't need to assign that to a variable. So A, B, D, E, F. So I'm off by 1. So we go 4. There we go. Now we take the middle ones, which is n.slice 2 to 4 to uppercase, just to make it obvious. Okay, so this is the goal. Just gotta make the math work. So my start index is 2, my end index is 4. So 0 to 5, so let's look at this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it is off by 1. Like, because the end is the one it ends before. So when I say end at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it ends before it, so it ends at 4 before 5. It's, what's the word? Exclusive, right? That's the word. So now I take this magic splice or slice and I put it in here. And I should just be able to use start and end where the 2's are, and the end where the 4's are. Of course, I have to do this before the assignment. And I'm just going to do it like this. Turn in. I'm not going to do the proper capitalization because I want to see how the positioning is. Okay, maybe I should console log this. Of course, putting something in the console log would help. Oh, this is the great thing about slice. It doesn't reassign, so it gives you a new string. You have to reassign these. There we go. Apple banana. This looks great. Now I just have to do the proper capitalization. So yoink. I should probably put this in a variable because I'm using it twice. Const word. Yep, it's always to the console. Best tool we got. So const word equals basically this part in here. Word, and yeah, I guess I'll keep the rest of that because this goes here. Word is 0 to uppercase. Word slice 1. Oh, this looks good. Goodbye, consoles. You were useful. Apple banana, of course. That is not what I wanted. Oh, two lowercase, two uppercase. Man, we're just switching the cases back and forth. Poor JavaScript, so confused. Expected of to equal of. Right, there's some logic about length in here that I was just like, we don't need that. So what we're going to do is make this a let and be like, hey, if the word.length is greater than 2, then we're going to do this. So I'm taking the logic out of there, the word back there. Of course, we got to reassign it. Don't want to forget that. Of course, don't want to... Oh, word. You can't reassign something without the reassignment operator. Hey, test passed. Hey, there we go. So yes, as code-worthy as the magical rejects is, I think this one's a little, I mean, I was about to say, this one's more readable. Is it, though? But this will work basically language agnostic, so don't need to have with that unique rejects behavior of split to do it, which I think is valuable. So that's why what I'm gonna do, because I like the split. The split is cool. I'm gonna use the split. What I do is first I submit it with this, because this is cool. And yeah, I don't think I updated. Yeah, okay, I did set the thing on the other one. And then just so I have it in my solution history, fun little trick here. Parents, I'll do the cheesy Code Wars way now. Bada bing, bada boom. Make another submission. So now, I thought I voted this thing. Be voted. Vote. Give me my free honor. Where is my honor? There we go. Phew! I almost lost out on that one extra honor point. Yeah, so now I have both solutions on my account. I like this, so that way, like, because when I put them on GitHub, I'm like, I can do it manually. I could also do this if this is what y'all value. I guess so. If you vote a second time, it kind of just changes your vote. You only get one vote basically. I kept pushing the button because I guess my network was like, you're not gonna get to vote. But you only get one vote per account. Yeah, seems kind of fair. Oh, how did they do this? Huh. Oh, they just split it on it, and yeah, so I guess I didn't really need to do that regular expression matching thing. I overthought it. But yeah, that was a pretty good one there. Thanks for the suggestion. Oh, what is... Oh, going for any string, 3 characters or more, and just uppercasing that. Okay, that's a fancy regular expression. Yeah, that was a good one. And with that, problem actually passed the timer, so it is break. Oh, was that yours? Yeah, but this is what you did, huh? Yeah, I think the backslash s, because backslash lowercase s is for white space, so it's basically anything not white space. I don't know, I don't use that one too much. Let's find out regex 101. Ooh, that's light theme, I know. Sorry. Okay, so matches any non-white space character. Huh. Yeah, I do not use that often enough. Neat. That's right, yeah. Automatically. Then they did a slice 0 1 instead of word indexing 0. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really see. I mean, I guess you'd want to do a slice 0 1 if your thing, like if you had a string of 0 length, that would be safer. So you have a string of 0 length, index 0, get undefined. but slice 0, 1, you still get a string, so you don't have the two uppercase exploding when you try to call it an undefined. I guess that's why they're doing the slice 0, 1. They've been betrayed too many times. Though, of course, it's pretty guaranteed that it's going to be at least 3, so I guess this is habitual paranoia. Yeah. Oh, this is break, so I'm not going to do anything productive, but I will get my program ready to be productive. So nothing productive, it is pre-productivity. Because I did the cocktail drink thing. First, I did it very horribly. And secondly, I didn't do it all the way, because apparently it's supposed to be a carousel of drink options. But I was like, carousel? Who needs carousel? I'll just make it a list. So I type Marg. And this is not a carousel. So, but it works. So I need to make this a carousel. And I'm probably going to spend the next Pomodoro session strictly on this. Because Ryan knows, and anyone else who did tune in, my last stream was horribly networky buggy. I chose just the worst time, apparently. My network was like every 10 minutes, we're gonna go down for 2 minutes. Thankfully, though, I mean, I'm looking at the thing. My bitrate has been amazing, so apparently late night streaming is not a thing for me, or it was a storm or whatever. Yeah, Ryan, you know, you were hanging in there. I appreciate you lurking through the went back and watched the VOD too. It was like over or about 50% was just not there. Yeah, I mean, I have Spectrum, so but hey, I guess yeah, in comparison, I'm doing pretty good to Cox. Yeah. Yeah, again, not being productive. Don't report me, but I'm just getting this all set up. So, I mean, it's 50 seconds away. I can just get it started up now. There we go. I have my Chrome. I need to point it at my live share thing. Just over here. Just right there. There it is. Okay, we go to the JavaScript and we look at the stuff. Console log. Wow, the wheel on my keyboard. Console log. Stuff. We have stuff. Okay, we are ready to be productive. So, 10 seconds left. Let's look again at the margaritas. This is weird, because, oh, it's a Chrome thing. I just realized I have normalized. Why is it being different? Normalize has failed me. Does this look normalized? No. Well, most people use Chrome, so I'll fix it. Okay, yeah, timer ran out. Break is over. Productivity. Okay, so I don't know what this is. First, let me close this Code Wars. Good for that. Close some other stuff. We got nothing else to close. Okay. Carousel. So CSS carousel. Carousel. That looks like a good one. Yeah, this is how I do all my CSS. I'm like, how do y'all do this? This looks cool. Maybe I could. So there are little images here. If I like maybe triple this size, I could put the little images as the numbers. That might look cool. Order, like literally go for circling. And then is this scrollable? Okay, that's cool. And then in the cards will be the full image, and then the text on bottom or top, bottom or top, bottom or top. I guess the bottom, they're already there. Now I'll do it on the top. So this one might be cool. What about this one? Let's go. I mean, they all have cool transitions, don't they? I mean, this is literally a scroll bar. No, I mean, this isn't a... Is this a scroll bar? How's that? Yeah, I could cheat and just be like, I'm not doing any of this. I'm making it horizontally scrollable, and I'll call scroll 2 to make it jump. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. So let's do my... So let's first figure out past me. Let's judge past me for this code. So display drink options creates a div. Okay, this actually isn't too bad. So we go to the drink options as a section. Let's go to CSS. Yeah, the CSS is horrible. Okay, so it's display flex. What if we didn't flex it and we said overflow X scroll, right? So we're just like, give me a scroll bar. There we go. And we only want to display one at a time. Well, I mean, it depends on what your definition of carousel is, I suppose. I mean, all these carousels have one entry centered and focused. Okay, yeah, so I will give this a strict width of what I think this is, 300 pixels wide. Yeah, and I'll margin auto it to center. Yeah, okay, this is looking good. Now, these things need space around them, so I can... I mean, technically I have a carousel. It's not automatic, though, so... drink options, anything within, padding, 5 RAM looks good enough. Yeah, that's... Okay, I don't need all the other padding, so I want just left and right. So, vertical 0, left and right tons. There we go, and for that much, I won't need the gap anymore. Goodbye. Yes. Yes. Now I'm not going to do the whole... The end goes back to the beginning, so it's not an infinite looping carousel. Now, this is really close to the scroll, to the search bar. Where is my form? Yeah, the search by name, your form, you need padding. Using animation to display one at a time. Yeah, that is the cool way to do it. And that probably might be what I'm gonna do. But for now, so like the one at a time, I'm going to use the scrolling. So you can grab an element, and that can be like this whole element. Which element am I talking about? I'm talking about... Actually, I can just show you an example instead of saying it. So yeah, I have this element here, this one. So we're going to zoom way over here. Right? So now we have this element, and we right-click it, and we tell it to scroll into view. Now it scrolled into view. It did it in Snap, but there's a setting somewhere in CSS that you can tell the behavior to be smooth. So that's the trick I'm going to be using to get my smooth animation. It'll be here, and then at an interval of, I guess, a couple seconds or whatever, it'll smoothly scroll to here. And then eventually it'll smoothly scroll to here, here, and I guess once it gets to the end, I'll just reverse the direction. So instead of doing +1 to the index, it'll do -1, so it'll scroll back. Kind of like ping pong. Go ping pong, ping pong. So that's because I like to try to do this on my own. Like, I know to get it pretty, like for an actual client, I'd basically go to CSS and just yoink something nice, but I think this is the way I'm going to do it manually. Which means for drink options, scroll behavior smooth. And now, just the magic of the timeout. Now I'm going to have to cancel this when the user gets in here, like a mouse in or a focus within, but not my problem yet. So as soon as we display drink options, we need to start this magical scrolling animation. So I guess I just, let's call it, let's use some global state, do a set interval. So we'll do this every 5 seconds, because that's good enough. And then, well, we need to keep this interval so we can remove it. Which means we might want to use set timeout, because when we basically wanted this to be stopped I mean, do we? No, we don't care if it's stopped, because it's not my problem. We will optimize it later. So let index equals 0. And then we'll go through all of the container children. So index plus direction, and direction will be initialized to 1. Equals 1. Well, index needs to update its value too, so hey, we'll do this after. So index plus equals direction. Then we're gonna check if index dot, well, we need to get the children, so I believe it's dot children. I think that's indexable. Scroll to scroll into view. I believe I want scroll into view. Options. What are these options? Behavior, block, inline. Behavior. Smooth. I mean, I already have smooth, but double smooth. Block. What's block do? Center. I want center. Yeah. What's inline do? Center. Yeah, I'll have more center. So many centers. So yeah, that happens there. Now, we need to check if. Now we can do some math to be like, hey, is it greater than the length, or is it less than 0? Or we can just be like, hey, if there's nothing at this index anymore, aka it is falsy, because if you access the index of an array at an invalid index, you get undefined. So it's like, hey, if it's undefined, direction equals negative direction. So instead of, it'll go from 1 to -1, or it'll go from -1 to 1, I believe. Yeah, that's the negation operator. It does magic. When this happens, we also need to update index accordingly. I mean, we might not need to. We'll find out. Ooh, not drag event. Thank you, VS Code. Yeah, that seems right. Thinking. Yeah, that seems alright. I mean, we'll find out when we do, and we'll do this at a 5-second delay. Set interval. We're not clearing the intervals, so let's go crazy. Marg. Let's look at the console, because things are about to go really good. Or go really bad. Probably should put some consoles on it, right? Yeah, let's decrease this. 1 second. And did it happen? Oh, I missed it. Here it goes. Yes. I should really turn that timer down. But hey, it's scrolling just with an ugly scroll bar. So let's turn that timer down. We need to do something when we are stopping this. Oh, the great thing about this is that this is always using the actual element. So when this updates, this is good. So I can take this outside. Yes, I can. So I can safely take it outside, and it will just work. I haven't tested this part, but that seems alright. I mean, the direction will be flip-flopping until there are children. So let's go ahead and do that. If that length, then you don't do anything. Okay, let's try this. Cannot read of undefined, 39. Shrink. Cannot read of undefined. We're going to scroll into view. Well, I'm already checking. Oh, negative. So if there aren't children. There we go. Okay, 1 second. Scroll. Yes. Go back. Okay, yeah, there's a little pause at the end. That's probably my off by 1 math. I mean, we could probably console log it. Yeah, okay, so first I need to give this form some spacing. And like, okay, I want to click on blue margarita now. Nope, we're gonna scroll all the way. Make it work for it. See, that's another thing I need to fix. But that form needs some spacing first. Where's my form? Does it not have any styling applied to it? No, it doesn't. It has basic. Okay, form. Adding bottom. 3 REM. 3 REM. That looks right. Well, should probably center this fully. Yeah, I should. What is drink options? I have a main, I have a form. Uh, I'm using flex. No, I'm not using flex. I should use flex. Flex, and then flex direction column. Here we go. I didn't play Flexbox Zombies enough. I don't know which one this is. Align items. Oh, in align items is cool. Not looking for it. Justify items. Nope. Align content. Nope. Justify content. Are you justify content? Align. I'm running out of options here. Okay. Oh, they're not flexed. Yeah, you need a flex of 1. You need a flex of 1. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Just forgetting everything I learned in flex. Oh, why is my height not maxed? Height 100%. Because your height's not maxed. You hold. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, yeah. Had to fix a bunch of stuff before. So, you height 100 VH. That's obviously not enough. The body's good. The main is not good. So, main height 100%. Thank you. Now we can do some flexing. Display flex directional column. Now we can pick the right property. Not justify. Align. Nope. One of these had it working before. Align content. Justify items. And wait, why did where did my height go? I had height just now. It doesn't have height. 100% of body. Wait, why is body? Oh, I never give it to body. Okay. Body apparently needs that height too. There we go. Okay. Third time's a charm. I'm not add a flex property again. Display flex direct column. Oh, there it is. That's all I needed. Loving it. That was on my main. Not there. There. Okay, this looks good minus the scroll bar. Do I just hide it? I mean, well, okay, I don't want to hide it. Hover within, focus within. I'm gonna just make it a click or something. Stop the event. And I'll try to see. See if focus within is a thing. I want that in JavaScript. Contains active element. Okay, I could do that check. Yeah, watch that. That works great. Didn't know anything about the hover. That's okay. If. Yes, this is close. Turn. Oh, a little close. Not all the way there. Okay, so if this contains this, keyboard has failed me. My clipboard has failed me, it seems. There we go. So if the active element is in there, mark. Yeah, it's okay. So it's doing the thing. I'm gonna tab into it. It stopped. That's good. I'm gonna tab out of it. Okay, this is just me tab navigating between them. Very good accessibility. I did a great job on that. But now if we tab out, it's gonna. I mean, it scrolls to that one. I don't care. Now if I hover in, yeah. So I need a mouse in or a mouse over and a mouse out. I'm trying to think. What I can do is direction 0. No, direction 0. That'll make it go. Let's see what other stops I can do. If not direction return. There we go. So that is my early return. Now for my setup. So let's see what all these events I have. Event listener. Mouse. VS Code, you have disappointed me. I have to go to the MDN. Mouse over, mouse in, mouse enter. What's the difference? What do be the difference? Mouse over, playing device, onto the element or one of its children. Hotspots with the element. Okay, I can't tell. Mouse over. Little console log it. Oh, let's get our console open and go Marg. Yep, so we get one event. Technically, we're getting one for every child. Now, if we leave, we don't get anything. What's the Indian mouse leave? Mouse leave or mouse out. Figure these two out. Cursor is moved out of it. No longer contained within the element. Okay, I think mouse out. What's the difference? Like, what's the counterpart to this? Because this is the out. Mouse in. It's gotta be mouse in, right? Mouse enter. Mouse over. You know what? I'll just go with one. So mouse leaves the one I want to. Mouse leave. There we go. Then we go here and we set the direction back to 1. But when we mouse enter over, we'll go over. I think we'll go enter because it seems to be opposite of leave. Direction equals 0. Okay, Marg. We scrolling. My mouse is here. Blah, blah, blah. My mouse is gone. Mouse here. Mouse gone. Here. Gone. There we go. With a couple minutes to spare. Now the direction's always going to be going to the right. That honestly doesn't bother me. Okay, it bothers me. I've been bothered. And let's make this into a let. Animating equals true, and then we swap it to false accordingly. And all of this is very good, but we have ourselves quite a bit of global state here. Let's clean this up. How do I want to clean this up? I could just rip it in an instantly invoked function expression. How do I want to clean this up? Lots of options. I think I'll just go instantly invoked function expression for now. That's good enough, right? Yeah, so if there, well, first we're going to say if not animating. Gotta make that change. Animating, then we return. Now I could be smart and start it and stop it. I'm not gonna do that. I should do that. Yeah, I'll do that. No, I won't do that. That is a future me problem. But I'll clean this up though. There we go. A little. Okay, do I need the index resetting? Let's see. Mark. Go. Ooh, yeah, we get angry undefined. Okay, so we do need that. I think I'm gonna flip it the other way, so I'll make it here return just to use a little indentation. I invert the logic. Index plus equal. Yeah, I need to do that. Do I need all of this? Let's see. So Marg again. It seems to be working just fine. I could use some vertical padding on that. I just recognize the last name. Where did I only padding to the left and the right? Yes, we'll do 1 rem. You know what? I will put the words on top. Why am I generating these? Yeah, you know what? I won't do that just yet. Single commits that do single things. Make this commit. I will use CLI since that's what we're all learning at the moment. Once you type status correctly, you can see all the stuff that's going on. You can also run like git diff or use your editor. It'll tell you what you changed. I added that. I added some of that. I did some styling there. Ooh, 300 pixels. How responsive is this? Probably help if I open that up. I mean, it's responsive. How is the width of those things being set? Ooh, 25 VW. 300 pixels. There we go, that's a lot better. My mouse went in and then went out. Oh no, wait, the scrollings don't happen when you're doing this. Okay, that's good. Let's make sure this is good. Mouse in, mouse out. Tab in, tab out. And then if I'm in here scrolling, like I've made this my active element with the click. Maybe I haven't made the active element with the click. Okay, let's get mobile in here. Show me mobile. Okay, I thought this would make it an active element. So basically anything when it's clicked inside, I just need it to stop. I can do that. On event listener, click. Boom, solved it. Marg, here we go. I click. I did not mean to click there. Marg again. Click. I click. It's still going. I thought I had a click event. Click in all caps, make sure I can read it. Marg. No click event. It's because I'm using mobile. Oh, there's click. Oh, click and drag. What is this? What event is that? Mouse down or drag? Towing device is pressed from the pointers inside the app. Okay, I guess it's mouse down. There's so many mouse events. Squeaky squeak. Click. I make no sense of this. But then when I leave, it goes back. It's working. When I click out, it resumes because active element. Okay, so it's it's not as clean as I would like it. These events just juggling around, but it does work. So I will save it like so, considering this is the end of this work session. So yeah, I added that and added that. Add drink. I want to type this correctly, so I won't trust myself to do it. Yes, it is very much carousel. Scroll bar is not the best, but it's alright. I'll style the scroll bar. Maybe next, maybe never. Yeah. Maybe I could turn the time down on this now I think about it. 2.5 seconds. There we go. And I appreciate you typing carousel because now I don't have to Google it. There we go. And I'll use the CLI git commit. Let's get status. Always get status first. Commit m add drink carousel. Git push. There we go. The push is done. Now I go over here and it opens on my other window. That's cool. I drag it in. And now we wait for GitHub Pages to update it. In the meantime, we can look at the ugly old one. Absolutely. How did I even publish this, right? Yeah, that padding between the form was really good. I added that. And now we wait for GitHub Pages. Almost there. I have to start the break timer. And it's like in a couple. There we go. All done. Green check mark. Yes, it is. Hard refresh. Marg. And there's the carousel. And on Firefox, it looks... the scroll bar looks natively good. 2.5 seconds. That was my heart stopped there for a second. Like, I didn't test it on Firefox. It's totally broken. And then if we go over here to Chrome, the rest of the people on the internet. Yeah, I might spend like the first few minutes of the next session cleaning that styling up. Oh, that's another scroll bar. Yeah, I gotta clean these scroll bars up. Oh, also my back doesn't work. I should fix that too. Yeah, it looks like next session we're still gonna be playing with this thing. Oh, because I 100 VH'd it. Yeah. I did that, didn't I? I don't know. Nope. This is break time. I'm not working on it. I might as well look at this one. This is the pretty one. Be pretty. Well, it would be easier if I can type something. There we go. Yep. Make sure to take a break, stretch, hydrate, all that fun stuff. Yes it is. All the work, just keep looking at the timer like, how much do I have to keep going? We're almost there, almost there. Break time is nearly over. So just thinking what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna bring this form down. It should not be at the top of the web page. It should, I don't know which space around, space between, space evenly. Gotta figure out which one of those and use it so it's kinda there and then this is kinda there. Or I'll just add padding to the top, I don't know. And then I gotta fix all the scroll bars. Okay, that's a bad example. Oh, it's on Chrome that they look bad. Here's Chrome. Do your worst, Chrome. There we go. So these got to go. Yeah, so let's get started on that now. Yeah, this is local. Good. Let me start the timer up. 15000. 250 minutes. Nope. 1500. There we go. 25. Much more much more reasonable time. Too similar on medium to small screens. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that, but yeah, they would be. Let me see if I can just instruction column justify content. Nope, that's the wrong one. Align items. Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope. Justify items. Nope, that's not it. It's one of these. Yeah, I broke it somehow. So it's the form. Oh, they're not flexed yet. That would help, given making them flex. So let's do that now. So all the direct descendants of main need a flexing. So main flex. Whoa, thank you, VS Code. Great suggestion. There we go. Okay, that's doing stuff. Refresh now, clear my changes. Marg. Okay, yep, you're taking all that space. You're taking all that space. Let's, do I just need to center the input? Or I make the form? Because the form's taking the space. Maybe I don't want this whole thing to be flexed. Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want that. So this is what I want to fix. Okay, how did I do here? I have drink, the height of this, because main height is 100% and body height is 100 VH. So if I literally drop 100 VH, that does things. But did that break the other thing? It did break the other thing. So I want you to be centered in main. Maybe I don't care how you do it. Yeah, I don't think I really care how you center. It's 20 rem padding top looks like to me. We're baddies. We're writing bad code. I'm the baddie at least. Drink options. Nope, not that one. Padding top. 20 rems. Looks good to me. And the drinks look good to me. Back to Marg. Oh yeah, I did need to give the form padding top and bottom. So there and 0. Loving it. Looking good. Let's make sure I didn't make the mobile break. Let's pick a good resolution. There, that's mobile. Yeah, I didn't break the mobile. My tables broke mobile, but that is a different problem entirely. Now let's look into that problem as well while I'm here. So this is my info. So I have table. I just need media queries at that point. Yeah, there's no solution to that. Okay, so what is this? Is the info. So we're looking for info, display flex, media query, media, and that was in with. Let's pick ourselves. As I spell min with a good resolution. Okay, I can't. So I don't like cruising Chrome. Okay, so let's see. It messes up about 1,000 pixels. So anything below 1,000. We are doing a drink info direction flex of column. Control Shift I. Nope, too much auto format. There we go. I mean, that works. No, it's doing the opposite. Max width. There we go. So yeah, we got the 1,000. Looks good. Drops in there. Maybe the tables can share. Well, they're on the opposite side of the image. I have to put in some work to get that working. I'm not really willing to put in that work. This is good. the image resolution doesn't need to be set to the viewport width anymore though. So where's my, there we go. View min or max? It must be max. There we go, it looks a bit better. Let's make sure desktop is still happy. It's big, it's ugly. It is responsive and readable. This weird alignment is not cool. If we can align all these to the top, that would be great. I don't know how I aligned them like this anyway. Table. Oh, they're all flex. So, hey, we figured this out again. Start. Nope. Align items. Start. Nope. I mean, they're all hit with flex 1, right? So, this is the main axis, not the cross axis, so I want align content. Start. Align self. Start. Okay, it was justified. I was wrong. Is in none of them. I mean, how many more properties are there? And they're all flex. Got the padding. I mean, oh, here it is. Forgot Chrome did this. Start. No, I'm already doing start there. Center. No, these buttons ain't working. No, 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 no. Oh, here we go. Flex. No, that's direction. How have I done this? I've done something. Oh, margin. No, that's not doing anything. Need to tell it to be flex, and I'll do align self. Start. Maybe it's not start. Maybe that's my problem. Wrong property. Or wrong value. No, none of that. Justify. Self. It's gotta be one of these. What? So this one's... Okay, let's figure this out. Okay, Flex, tell me what to do. What have I done wrong, CSS Tricks? You are my only hope. So I got the direction good. Wrap is good. These are no content, right? Inline self. Inline self might work. Align items. Yep, so we have flex hyphen. If that was seriously, because I wasn't using flex hyphen start. No, okay. Feel great and bad at the same time. Oh, there's an arrow on this. That's cool. Doesn't help. It's gotta be the margin. Okay, the auto margin did it. Okay, so if you do a flex with a margin, the margin will be like added in spite of, I guess. It makes sense to someone. I figured it out. Oh, okay, so I need to do what? I need to add a... Or can it just be just start? Okay, great. It can be just start. So align items, start on drink info. There's info. Somewhere around here. There it is. And then... Actually, how's this look on mobile? No, okay, I have to recenter it. So it's only on this dimension. Otherwise, it's center. That's tomorrow's problem. I gotta go get rid of the margins. So margin no longer auto. Where's the other one? That's the table. Maybe you no longer get a margin auto either. Okay, let's look at this. Looking acceptable. And looking acceptable. Nice. Okay, so I got that responsiveness basically sorted out. And well, let's make sure this page ain't broken. Back to Marg. Yep, Margarita. Good. Okay, all this is still good. And get commit message. Improve responsiveness. Responsive. Yep, I'll typo it. Maybe fix it later. Get push. Well, I don't push it yet because got more changes. Number one change is the scroll bar. So let's see how those styling rules apply. I would say do the same with Firefox, but it literally looks fine. And that looks all good to me. And now what scroll bar am I doing this? This is of my container. What did I call it? Drink options. There we go. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Drink options. Yes. Oh, invisible scroll bar. Oh, I just make it invisible? Is that... Can I just do that? Yeah, that's great for usability, ain't it? There is no scroll bar. Okay, let's do this. And I see some rules in here. Well, actually, it looks alright. Without the thumb color. Whoa. Okay, I went way too far with that clipboard paste. Yeah, it looks somewhat acceptable. Honestly, is anything's better than default in my eyes. I have done this before, I just don't remember all the rules, and considering this ain't really going nowhere, I'm fine with it being a little subpar. Yeah, that looks good. And then here, oh, we got big scroll bar. Let's do that too. So this is everything scroll bar. Yes, all the scroll bars. How did I set the width and height? Can we do 8:8? Yeah, it looks a little better. Back to Marg. Loving it. Okay, so this is good. Got 13 minutes left though. Gonna do some stuff. Let's first get this commit locked in. Style bars. Style the scroll bars. Great, loving that. What else do I want to do? Autocomplete would be cool. Let's look at the API. Alright, make sure I type that thing right. So autocomplete would be cool. Name, list all cocktails by first letter. That might be useful. How does that work? Oh, I love Chrome. I don't have the extension installed that makes it JSON pretty. Okay, so yeah, we see we have lots of stuff here. How many we get listed? Alright, we gotta take a break real quick. And I am back. Hope that free impromptu mini break was enjoyable. Let's figure out this autocomplete now. This is gonna be a cool feature. Oh, they're only 24. Okay, I have to go to the API page. What wrong there? Because when I was messing with this API before, it seemed like it only ever returned 99 entries. So I gotta figure that out. And I'm gonna literally check it by going to every letter. Yeah, my internet didn't like me before. Let's consider this a stress test, huh? Let's look at all the A's. So we have rows of 4. So you know what? I'm not gonna count that. I'm gonna use JavaScript to count it. JavaScript, count it for me. Okay, just count all the count all the rows, right? There we go. How many rows we got? So we do query selector dot row. We do multi. Damn, so 29 times 4 is 96. And I didn't remember clicking that. Whatever, let's. 29 times 4, so 96. These are all the ones that start with A. Now, if I go to the API, I ask it for all the ones that start by A, I'm expecting that many. Boy, 94 is going to be a lot, won't it? I get 24. Unless I broke math. So let's do manual comparisons. Last one is Aztec Punch. Last one is, okay, that's quite the name. Afternoon. Okay, this order is not as I anticipated. Because we have, they must not be sorted alphabetically. Are these sorted alphabetically? A day at the beach. We got all the A's at top. A1, ABC. How is my sorting done? A1, ABC. Oh, it's not including all the ones with A, day at the beach. Okay, that is a unique, different way of sorting. So A was the worst example I could have chosen. Look at the B's. That looks like a number of them. Let's tell me how many. 20, so yeah, 20 times 4, expecting 80. So if I go to the B's, and we look. Oh, this looks like 80 to me. Look how many I gotta close. Yeah, oh, it's exactly, so yeah, the Drinks API literally only gives you top 25. This is not gonna be good for a autocomplete though. What is the solution? Well, one solution could be stop caring. I could just not care and be like, this is all we get. Or I could go for the name, use a debounce so it only hits it so often. You know what? That will be my approach. I'm trying to think if there's any better way to do this. No, this is it. Okay, we're implementing that form of autocomplete. Drop the API, drop that into the HTML. Now, a fun thing about autocomplete is you can use this cool thing called a data list. It is an HTML tag that essentially serves as options for an input. Kind of like how, wow, okay, I should just read it out here. Set of option elements, permissible or recommended options for other controls, aka an input. So you click here, and I've never been here, yet autocomplete is like, hey, using the native browser stuff, so it works on mobile, it works on all of them. You want to try one of these, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But if I'm not, I'm like, I don't want any of that. I want cookie dough. And if I spell it right, it'll still allow any input arbitrarily. This is what we want, and this is what we're going to use. Now, so yeah, let's just yoink the data list into the form. I have to tell it to hook up to it with a list property of the ID of the list. That placeholder, put that there, and this will be drink complete. There we go. And this is empty because this is going to be a dynamically generated HTML element. Now here we go in JavaScript land, where we're going to find that search by name form input. Okay, now we're just gonna shove this const form equals this. Now we can do form, because I'm about to reference it again with form.query selector. I'm selecting the input. Well, I'm doing multiple selections, aren't I? Yes, I'm just gonna go with it as I see it. Add event listener input, and this will be the event, but we want to destructure that to the target and destructure that to the value because this is very readable. And then we'll console log value. This looks great, and I need Chrome to do it. So marg, if we look at our console, please be cool VS Code. I have to scroll to the left. There we go. So we have M, MA, MAR, and MARG using the input. So basically, literally anytime the value changes, we get an event. It's exactly what we want, because when the inputs stop happening for like 500 milliseconds, we're going to take whatever query they have and send that to the API and populate our data list with those results. So yeah, let's say we're going to do a second Pomodoro session of this logic, but that's okay. Now we have the value. Let's make this an iffy, because I want to encapsulate this a little bit. So let's see, const data list equals form query selector data list. Thank you, VS Code. Oh, no, don't thank you, VS Code. There we go. So basically, let interval equals 0. I'll make it null, right? Then we will make the request. We'll set the interval. So clear. Sorry, a clear interval. It's not an interval, it's a timeout, so that's awkward. Yeah, I thought I'd be able to get this under the time. It'll clear any current timeout, and then we'll timeout equals set timeout. And this is where we do our fetching and magic stuff. So timeout, here it is. Use the API, which we already have. So we're going to yoink. There we go. And Control-Shift-I. Thank you, VS Code auto format. So we are searching. The query is value. Watch me type it correctly. We're clearing the hash. Sure, that's not what we're doing. Now we're popping our data list. So we need our drinks. Console log drinks. Watch me remember this. Drinks map. Sure, drink. These are the drink names, right? So we want to convert all these to and options. Yeah, const option and create element option, and then just option text content equals str drink. If you don't provide a value, it defaults to whatever it is. An option. They want to reduce fragment option. I think this is an alright way to do it. Fragment and child option turn fragment, and to initialize this to a new fragment, document create document fragment. Now that we have this, we need to set the data list inner HTML equals empty string. Options here. empty string there, data list and child options, Control Shift I, auto format, save. It seems like to me, gonna find out. So we do mar. Wow, did I put literally a 0 on that? I did. Please don't be angry at me, Mr. API. Let's put 500 milliseconds on that. Okay, so marg. And look at this autocomplete. Native autocomplete. All I had to do was a little bit of HTML and magic stuff like that. And wow, what is this? Oh, that's an interesting thing. Oh, I guess it's some form of history or lookup. Yeti. That's not a name. Pina colada. There we go. Look at that. And then when you click it, it doesn't do anything until you click the search button, but are there multiple pina coladas? There aren't. Okay, so this is another break, but this is gonna need to fix this after the break. It would also be cool if when I clicked on it, it did the thing. I don't know if I can jump into JavaScript and grab that, but that's cool. And this is good. And we're gonna, I'm not working. I'm not actually working. I am saving my changes. Complete. There we go. The working has stopped. Marg. There we go. And now we, nope, come on, Marg. There we go. And this is a good place, I'd say, to leave it up to a break. Though, yeah, I kind of did rush that last bit. Let me let me explain the craziness here. So the way it's working is that the way it, I believe this term is debouncing or something like that. Basically, or maybe it's not called debouncing. Debouncing might be something else. So essentially, we want to run all this code 500 milliseconds after the user stops typing. So when they type, like they hit MARG, that's 4 different times this happens. So the first time it happens, they type M, it clears a timeout that doesn't exist, and it sets a timeout, recording the ID that is needed for clearing it in this variable. Then the next time, it goes for A. So M has already been pressed, timeout is set to a number, then A comes along, and A wants to also set a timeout, but first it clears the old one. So the search for M gets cleared. Now this timeout to search for MA starts, but within 500 milliseconds, you get R, and then you get G. Now G is the one that actually gets searched, because after 500 milliseconds go by, the timeout set to search for G right here, using the value that was received through the event target, is still MARG. So that runs with marg and not M, MA, MAR, and MARG. That's that part of it. So that does the timeout, clear timeout, and this weird set timeout. The other half of it is reusing the API from before. Nothing new. This is, if you weren't here yesterday, there are like 10 different ways to create a URL with query parameters. You can do it manually, $s equals, do some template magic. Or you can use URL search params, in which you do like plus params to string. Or you can use the URL object, which is an interface representing for creating object URLs. This, I believe, is the safest way. Wow, thank you, VS Code. Because it allows you to do, now this is only the URL, so like the search params is the main thing. So you can take the search params, which are also called query parameters, where you do ABC equals DEF. It's like, this is a search parameter where that's the key, that's the value. And it automatically handles encoding spaces for you. So if you add a space, it turns that space into a plus, automatically handling it. So that was one of the requirements for this homework. Done for free. So that's why I like using this. it does it for you. Yeah. You don't have to worry like, did I encode the string correctly? Was I supposed to do this, that, or other? It's like, no. You do use the interface. Interface handles it for you. Then you pass the whole thing to fetch. And I mean, I think fetch is good. So this is a good question, and I'm about to answer it for myself. Console log URL nope, URL got to string. Because I was about to say fetch knows how to handle it. That fetch might not know how to handle it, and it could just literally stringify your URL. So let's try marg. Thank you, autocomplete. What does it do? So yeah, so you can pass this to any API. You can pass it to Axios or your favorite URL fun API, and it'll just work. Error handling. I guess I'm assuming they don't make any errors. I am, so that is a good point. There is more handling to be done. If they enter a input or a value of no length, I do need to handle that. And yeah, you're right, I should be doing some error handling, at the very minimum, a catch. And you're right, in which I don't know what happens when they enter an invalid query. Those are 3 great error handling things I should do, and those will probably be what I'll do right now, because, yeah, that is, I mean, I was basically done with this anyway. So yeah, I will try that. And hey, thanks for stopping by, Rule. I know you were here yesterday when my internet was basically non-existent. Fortunately, it has fixed itself. I was either unlucky or night streaming is not for me. So let's do some basic handling. So we're going to check like if not value. So if they enter an empty string, for example, we don't want to do any searching. Goodbye searching. Now let's see what other handling we can do. Let's enter a bad input. So here's a bad input. Bad input. Okay, what did we get? We got null. We are trying to map on that, so we probably got an error if we look closer. Yep, there's the error we were not handling. Good call, Rule. So what we can do is be like, hey, if drinks is null, or we can just check if it's falsy. Not drinks, return. And I guess we could be smart. So we could be really efficient. So if someone types CDEF and we know that this becomes null, if anyone types anything starting with ABCDEF, so if someone types DFGHI, we could be like, we don't even need to make a network request. We know this is null. So that could be an improvement we can make. I think we're good with users being like that. Now for the actual handling, we will just catch, I suppose, because I don't know what errors there could be, and we will... Yeah, throw error. I was just about to go to it. A throw error. I guess we could throw an error. Yeah, actually telling them that there are no drinks. So let's console error here, so the message is handled. Yeah, we should do something here. Now I could throw the error and catch it here. Yeah, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that. Throw new error. No drinks found. Then I can catch the error. Alright, and then let's just see what it looks like before we do anything with it. So, okay, so let's fix line 54 first. I don't know what I did. Oh, that's what I did. I used instantly invoke function expressions without semicolons. So let's type marg. That obviously works. Blah, blah, blah. Error, no drinks found. Okay, so how do we want to handle that? So this is an autocomplete. I believe as far as autocomplete is going, this is good. Now when I search it, however, no drinks. I guess I'm already handling that on the other one. I'm not doing it via an error, though. And you know what? I'll go ahead and do it with an error. So on this one, we do nothing if they don't have, because it is an autocomplete. So we literally just return. And we could put the message in the autocomplete, but then that's a selectable. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know how that works, if we can add a disabled option. But we'll go up here and make an error here. So throw the new error there. And then we will catch it. Error, and then we will alert that message. I think that's where it is. Blah blah blah. Search. No drinks found. That appears to be working. Now let's add. So I'm gonna try to get that disabled option, see if that works, so I can shove a message inside my autocomplete data list. Here's an option. We will disable you. Watch me type it wrong. Disabled. That looks right. Oh, it literally doesn't show up. I guess that's somewhat expected behavior. Let's look at the data list docs, see if there is anything else cool we can do with this. Perhaps I should have used value instead of... Yeah, you know what? Value does look better. Should be machine readable, not human readable. Why am I doing that? Yeah. Option that value. Very much better. I'm not seeing anything informational there. Let's see what the actual spec says about it. Not seeing... Yeah. Opt group. What's opt group? Or is that just a new tag? I think this might be a new tag. Yeah, I got lost. Okay, yeah, so this part of the API is looking good. I'm realizing how much, like, this was not supposed to be a Cocktails DB API stream, but it was definitely a fun one. I'm glad I got to it. So now I have some changes here. And stage selected ranges, and then commit amend, because what happened was I broke this last commit, but I didn't fix it. Like, I added this, but then I broke it. So what I did was I amended my change by basically committing... No, let me get the phrasing right. I don't want to say it wrong. I added a subsection of the file, like literally just these lines. I added it to the staging area, and then I committed with an amend. So when you do an amend commit, it basically takes your previous commit and adds your current one to it. So your previous one gets amended too. They use a good verb on it. So the previous one included these changes. And I did this because, I don't know, these changes belong to the previous one. I try to keep the commits as only related to what they are as possible. So let's see here. Yeah, what did I do? I did some handling, good handling. What did I do here? I did more error handling, very good handling. I mean, might as well be explicit. Not that explicit. There we go. Loving it. Okay, and what else did I do? Okay, that was it. So, implement error handling? Yeah, I think that's right. API error handling. Yeah, that's a good one. Good message. Okay, now there's one thing. It's another bug, I know, but it's a bug I introduced, so I got a default screen for this. So if I go to Marg, and I'm like, hey, look, there's a margarita. Click on the margarita. I want to go back to the list, but I don't want to click search. So what would I do? I should have a thing up here that's like, go back to list. But most people are like, look at that back button. I'ma click it. It does nothing. Very disappointing. So I need to hook into that. So it's probably an event somewhere. Let's just yoink it at the bottom. Document might be on the window. Window, add event listener, change. No, not that kind of change. Hash change. That looks good. Console log it. Let's see if that is what I'm looking for. Open DevTools. I go forward. I go back. These is exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, this also, I didn't even realize this. Maybe I want to go forward. Aha, it doesn't do anything. So let us do that. Yeah, I believe, yes, I'm going to implement this. So when you, basically, whenever the hash changes, it runs the code that should be running. So what code is that? That's a good question. Let's fold all this up because 3 instantly invoked function expressions. I am writing a horrible code. So this is the code here. I went over this yesterday, but in hindsight, it was probably during the internet break. So I'm creating URL search parameters from the hash of the location, which is blah blah blah, this string. So I'm slicing off the first one, so I only want this bit of the string. I just realized I wasn't on screencast mode the entire time. Live and learn. So I was on this part of the string, which has like something equals something else. And if you pass it to URL search parameters, or URL search params, as they call it, it automatically parses it into a key value mapping, and it handles like all the weird encoding stuff, the pluses, the magic symbols. It does it for you. So again, much like why I like using URL, I don't trust myself. I don't trust anyone else. I think I can trust the browser. The browser knows what it's doing. So this grabs the ID drink, and it's like, hey, if there isn't an ID drink, I'm done. If there is an ID drink, though, let me show you the feature. I refresh, and there's a moment of blankness, but then it goes and it fetches it for me. So this is half of what I need to do. And I think this goes into handle hash change, so chomp, handle hash change. Do I have to access the event? Okay, I'll just be like, look at the current thing. So when I go here, it's not initially ran. Okay, we call this handle hash change, and then we will call it its function, handle hash change. And then we will de-arrow functionify it. Done. And now I will call it, let's call it down here. There we go, so handle hash change, it works. Now when I go back, well, what does it do when I go back? Console.log window.location, location, and work with me, VS Code, hash. It's empty. It's very hard to tell, but this is an empty string. It would probably help if I did this, hash, colon, free labels, just make them objects. There you go, look, it's an empty hash. Now if I go forward, the hash changed. So already, it's working by going forward. Now when I go back, it's empty, forward, it's there. So we're not seeing anything fun, but this is already working halfway. Now the other half is when I go back, it should go back to displaying the drink options. Oh, it should do that with CSS because I'm not storing it in memory. So if it's not here, we're not returning, we're doing other stuff. We are hiding the current drink container. We are hiding that and unhiding the list of drinks. Unexpected end of JSON. Well, I do need to return because that's an error. Ooh, I should invalid drink ID. This is a good thing. Thank you, rule, for the error handling earlier. I should throw an error here. Error there, lovely, and then I'll catch it. Error, and then I'll alert the error. Message, yes. Okay, I got distracted. I need to do what I need to do, which is go back here. Now, the thing about this is that this page should only be loaded if there are any actual children. So let's check if, so it's if not ID, if there are no children, which I can do with, what is child element count? I've never seen that in my life. Class list toggle. Yeah, I could be smart and actually start like using that, like start drawing out my code using a toggle. Which, considering this is the third time I'm writing this, I probably will after I get this part done. But right now I have 2 of them. So I have, let me show you the HTML, it'll be easier. So I have drink options, and drink is essentially my two quote-unquote pages, and I essentially switch between which one is hidden. Oh, okay, I think I see what you mean. Use a toggle instead of an add. Okay, sorry about that. My brain was like, what do you mean? Yep. So I will toggle hidden. Yeah, so I want it to be hidden if there are no children. I'm just going to put this in there, see if it works. Okay, I put it on the wrong one. Yeah, so we always hide that one. This is the one that gets the toggle. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's just invert it, see what happens. Yes. Yes. Now let's make sure this behavior works on the full application. So we go Marg, choose Margarita, we search it. The list is full. It should have children now. So we're going to click on one. We are here. This is where we need to be. Now we go back. It should display the carousel. It displays the carousel. Great one. Thank you for that tip, Rule. I would have done a... Basically, I was going to do essentially this if expression to be like, if there are no children, then we return, but we have to do this anyway. So this is a lot cleaner, a lot cooler way to do it. Good call out there. I still don't know what child element count is. I have to figure that out. And VS Code was like, I got something for you. I'm like, what is this? The number of child elements of this element. I've always used children.length. Where else am I using the .length? Yeah, children.length. Let's use child element count. Wait, how support? Okay, everyone supports it. Okay, I was about to be worried. Why does this exist? Let's read the spec. Number of children of this that are elements. Okay, sure. I guess that might do some filtering based on if it's text node or not. Something interesting like that, but I have no idea. I had no idea that existed. But yeah, so our hash changing is handled. Let's actually make sure our invalid drink ID thing works. Forward. Ah, love that working. Add another number. 9. Invalid drink ID. And if you come here, it's always going to be invalid drink ID. Okay, this is looking good. Got 8 more minutes though. Let's make this scope creep even further. So I want this drink name to be auto-populated. No, I don't want to do that yet. I want it to, when I type Marg and I click Margarita, it should do the search. So how do I figure that out? So data list option on click. Look at that. Yes, this is what I want. Tell me you found the answer. Hobbyist. Okay, I have a solution. Child knowns an item was selected. Okay, let me figure this out. On input. Oh, so I check when it matches. On input. So I see what the logic is. So if I ever type Margarita and it matches, it'll only match if you did the exact case though. Well, if someone was just typing Margarita and they still wanted to type more, this would trigger the search. But the triggering of the search wouldn't... I don't know. That's not the behavior I'm looking for. I mean, these are data lists. Solutions derived, dynamically populated. Clicked on it or selected tag. That's fine with me. Let me see the next one. Okay, I can check the comparison. Oh, key down. Was typed or selected. Oh, key down is triggered having no key property. Wow, that seems like a very obscure way to do that. Let's add key down E. Okay, this looks fun. Well, let's not go too far. We have changes. Let's commit them. what are our changes? We are fix. What do we call this? We have fixed. We fix stuff. We're fixers. What did we fix? Fixed hash navigation? That sounds like a weird way to say it. Browser. No, handled browser. Handle browser navigation. Because it wasn't, it was broken before, but there was no solution to fix. Now there is. I don't know, this feels like the right thing. Handle browser navigation. Lovely. Now let's use that key down trick that I just learned about. So it's probably in this instantly invoked function expression. Yes, it is. So we are querying the input. That's very wet code, I know. So, well, let's just console log this, right? Console log. So yeah, if there's a key, it's input. If there's not a key, it's list. Now I'm gonna need to be very testy on this because I imagine every browser might implement this weirdly. So let's do marg. Yeah, so these are all inputs. Oh, I think this might be a solution. Let's go to Firefox. I know 5%ers over here. Marg, lots of inputs. We get nothing. You know what? So there's a change. It's just not being detected. I love you, Firefox. This is acceptable. We will do this accordingly, okay? So we will key down, and then when it is a list, so basically if there's no key, so if no key. So let's destructure the key. We only care about the key. Well, we care about the value too, don't we? So we care about the key, and we care about the target, and we want the value from the target, nothing else. No key, then we return. Otherwise, we're essentially searching for this, and I know, this code, it's so wet. I know. The wettest code you've ever seen. I will fix it later. Probably not. Okay, this query is called value. And we are doing that. Now, this should never happen. But I don't want to remove this. So, Control-Shift-I, auto-format. Let's do this. Marg. Whoops, that didn't happen. If not key, if there is a key, okay, I just made like 10 requests to the API. Please don't IP ban me. So we got Marg, and we're going to click Blue Margarita. Moment of truth. Could I ask for anything? Okay, that's annoying. Nobody look at this. That didn't happen. Could I ask for anything better, though? Wait, why? It's working, but what is this weird search result? Cannot read. Okay, I don't know what I've done. Let's ignore the error. There was no error. Marg. White cat margarita. Margarita. Okay, let me look. The value's old. I figured it out. The value is outdated. Log value. I know it's an outdated value. I can see it. My code senses are tingling. The value is not updated. So I type marg. I click smash watermelon. It is outdated. I knew it. Solution. We make the code even wetter. Loving it. I'm not even going to console log. That's how confident I am. No? Okay. That was not what I expected. So do I have to put this on a timeout? Key down. Okay, let's give me the whole event. Where is my event? E. Okay, so let's destructure all your fun stuff from E. It must be an old value and a new value. Let's return because no more hurting our friend API. Why did you put value in this? Oh, okay, so what I'm doing is this is destructuring and further destructuring. So the equivalent is saying const value equals e.target.value. So first I destructure the target out, then I destructure the value from the target. You can destructure to an infinite depth. It's just shorter, really. It doesn't really help the code. Just, I don't know. It's like when you read it, like if I want to read this line, I know this is an input, we have a key down, and it does something with the event. What's it do with the event? I don't know. But if I have this up here, I can read this one line and be like, okay, we're using the key and we're using the value of the target. So for me, at least, it feels like I'm getting more information without having to spend more effort reading the actual content of the code. Yeah, destructuring is pretty fun. I think we've learned array destructuring. So what I'm specifically doing, this is parameter object destruction. So it's parameter because this is a parameter this is a parameter to a function. So that's where I'm doing it. The object destructuring is because we have const obj equals abc d e f. So I'm destructuring an object. So I'm saying abc equals obj. So that is the object destructuring half of it. I believe we may have done array destructuring, first, second, rest, where we're doing like A, B, then C, D, where first equals A, second equals, actually I just console logged all this out. So I believe we've been doing a little bit of array destructuring, not a lot, but I believe we've been doing more of it than the other stuff. Of course, I've broken something. Or have I broken syntax on line 35? Yeah, lots of broken stuff. There you go. So you can see when you do array destructuring, it's in the order. Yes, it is very much like Python unpacking a tuple, or I think, yeah, I do use it unpacking tuples, but I think I haven't done Python in a bit, but I'm pretty sure it's any iterable, but yeah, it's usually tuples or list. It is almost identical, so like you can see instead of using the splat operator to collect the rest of the arguments, you use the rest operator, and that works both for arrays and objects. So you can do rest and then first, second. No, I think I'll just, yeah, I don't have an object here, but A, B, C, D, E, F. My keyboard went well there. But it's the same as a splat operator, or I don't know what that operator is called. The little asterisk whenever you are unpacking or receiving. It's the same as that. That is how you can receive the rest of whatever's in the thing you are unpacking. So yeah, it's very much like Python's. I wouldn't be surprised if Python influenced it quite a bit. Because I mean, I knew Python, I think, had it before. So I'm not here to wonder who came with it first, but as far as functionality, it's very similar. And then just looking up. I'm pretty sure it's mostly the same. Now this is not unpacking argument list, I think. Unpack, where is it? Well, yeah, what is this? Unpacking assignment. Yeah, I haven't messed with the docs in a while. But it is functionally the same. Well, where have I gone? Unpacking. Wow, I'm in the peps. Watch out, folks. So yeah, it is very much like the unpacking. The only difference is that you have to surround your destructuring with what you're destructuring. So if you're destructuring an array, you got to use the literal array symbol, square bracket. Destructuring an object, use the object brackets. And yeah. And like I said, I'm being all kind of tricky, I guess, but for me, this tricky is worth it because it improves readability. And it basically says, this is all I'm going to use, because just the E, it's like, you could be doing anything with this event. But here, it's like, you're using the key, and you're using the value of the target. It's more complicated to read, but once you do know how to read this, you don't have to read this entire thing to realize, okay, let me search for every instance of event, see what they're doing with it. You can just be like, I see what they're doing with it. Now, unfortunately, I need the whole event because I'm blind here. So, what's this? Do this. Console the event because I don't know what's going on. What is going on? Yeah, so I click Marg. Click Margarita. There we go. We have the key down. We have target, which is the input, source element, input, path. That's cool. Where's the value? Gotta scroll all the way down to the V's. Nope. Apparently it's not there. Do I have to look in the prototype? Oh, I have to look down the list. Value, Margaret. So this is because when I clicked on it, the console read from it live, so that's not really true. I guess I can just do a delay. I really don't like doing that with race conditions. Just be like, wait longer, because eventually that'll break. But if there's no other solution, set timeout all the rest of this code for 100 milliseconds. Should be long enough to handle whatever event-based race conditions going on here. So I type marg. Key is not defined yet because I am no longer destructuring. Key target. I want the value of the target. Loving it. I'm not using the value. Let's go back to using the... Well, the value is going to be old. So I don't want that. I just want the key. There we go. I get current value from the input element. Now I type marg. It is working. It's got this weird thing. I don't care about this weird thing, but it is working. I click on this. It's here. I go back. It's here. I am done. I'm not done. I'm cleaning this up a little bit. I know Pomodoro break, but const input is to be cleaned up. The code is wet. I must try it out. There we go. Clean that up. So if there's a key, return. Otherwise, I could really explain this. If autocomplete suggestion, choosing from choice of autocomplete suggestion. It seems right. What else did I do? What's this line down here? Well, what did I do? I did formatting. I don't want to commit that. Okay. Should have done this earlier. Let's get this timer going. Okay, what did we do? Add. Complete. What did we do? We implemented autocomplete clickability. Add. Implement, yeah. Implement autocomplete selectability, and I know I didn't type that right. I did. I am learning. Yes. Okay, this is good. And I could go even further. But I really do want to get to that animal picking thing. So I will push this and we will wait for Google Pages to load it. After this break, we will make the ultimate animal picker. Or not animal picker, random animal generator using the dog API, the cat API, the elephant API, every animal API. We're going to use them. And it's going to be very object-oriented. Maybe it won't be. I plan for it to be very object-oriented. In the meantime, we will watch and wait. Okay, it looks done to me. Probably gotta refresh to break the cache. Drink name, here we go. We have Marg. I'm on Firefox, so Firefox doesn't like handle it well. This is a Firefox only thing. Yeah. Don't work on Firefox. Really shouldn't have went on Firefox then. Let's go with the browser everyone cares about. Chrome, and we click Marg. Let's go for the strawberry margarita. There it be. It should take us straight to the drink. Not doing that this time though. Already spent way too much time on this. We go here. We are here. We look on mobile. It looks readable. That's all. It's readable. It's the only purpose. We go. Ah, look at the width of this. I need to make the input wider. I'm not doing it now though. So watch. We go back. We are back here. We go forward. We are here. If we come to this page manually, so by refreshing, we're here. We go back. It goes to the blank page. Everything is working. Pina colada. Look at it's working. And that, yeah, that is everything working that I want to be working. So, yeah, I believe, yeah, this is it for the break. Well, it's not it for the break. I'm gonna finish this break out. Should have been taking the break instead of playing around with it. So, do as I say, not as I do. Take a break. Take a drink, fix the eyes, stretch, all that good stuff. Yeah, it is. I spent half the break not actually taking it, I know. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks earlier for the follow. I didn't realize like that first stream I know was very much if you try to look at the VOD or anything, or if you did show up, it was very much a network issue stream. I just got unlucky. I'm like, this is a good time to stream. The internet was like, I don't think so. Fortunately, internet's been very good. I did like minimize the quality, like the bitrate and all that stuff, but I think I was literally unlucky, or I'm just not gonna be able to stream that late at night. We'll find out by next stream, because I plan on ending the Four Mayan Wolves, because I'm gonna watch that one. But before then, we are going to make the ultimate random animal API generator thing. So yeah, drink picker, be gone. We are done with you. We close the terminal. Goodbye, VS Code. Apparently those are loading. Don't know why. Yes, yes, it always requires further testing. This one's going a lot smoother than the last, but always, always free testing. What am I doing? Random ls. What am I doing? I'm doing something. What did I call it? Animal API. There it is. This is where we are going. So, like all projects, it's empty. Now, I do have a bunch of. So, I was like, I'll be organized this one. Hey, of course, man. I appreciate the lurk. Just coming by at all. Have a good one. Where's the button? What button was I trying to press? I'm trying to press Kanban. So this is one of these cute extensions. It's like, look, it's basically a Kanban board, but in VS Code. And if you never used one of these, it's basically a glorified to-do list, but like makes things easier to go through and like collaborative work easier. But in this case, it's all localized, so you get no collaborative work. It's just a glorified to-do list. So the goal is to start with the cat API, because someone's already done, like Mayan Wolf already did the dog API. Then we're going to generalize the sources, and that's going to be picking one of these random sources over here and adding them in. Then we're going to do permalinks, which is basically you can always come back to a certain animal. And then, I don't really know if we're going to do these two. I kind of wasted all my time. I didn't waste it. I spent all my time on that cocktail generator. Because I was like, ooh, scope creep. I was just creeped the entire time. So yeah, that is the goal. We need to initialize this repository. So index.html, index.css, and index.js. I know I'm using very old naming schemes. This is what I do. Let's go yoink me a normalize. Watch me mistype it. Download. This is the URL. And we'll just fancy way of downloading you can do on Linux. There it is. Let's get some HTML template. Loving it. I will turn on screencast mode this time. Did not forget it. Link rel equals style sheet. Brain was like, too fast. Googled, you're right, yeah, you can just mess up. It's like, I got you. Watch. Namoralize. It's like, I got you. It's really, it's like, you thought you were like a good typist, but then it's like, you built up enough bad habits of like not needing to be accurate, and it's like, they just build up after a while. All these type checkers, spell checkers, everything just correcting. Ref. Normalize CSS. See, look, even got autocomplete there. And you see, autocomplete everywhere. Never need to type right in my life. Script source equals index of GAS and script. There we go. Now we need to run this. Random animal. I would have called this pets, but I'm gonna add the elephant API, and I don't think elephants are pets. They could be, but I don't think to most people elephants are petable. Petable. I mean, you can pet an elephant, but to make as a pet. What am I saying? Live server. Go, Chrome! Debug for me. Let's get rid of that IE edge thing. Don't care about it. Loving it. Let's get the live URL inside the Chrome. Loving it. And let's do a console log. Make sure that things are happy. And look at that happy console log. And we're done. Let's ship it, right? Okay, we've got a fair amount of things. Now, I'm not going to go, like, for those of y'all who did see Mayan Wolves, I'm not going to do the info. I'm feeling like, yeah, see, I'm putting it over here. We're not doing the info anymore. We're just doing the randomized animals. So we're doing the cat API. So I'm going to click on it and go to it. Not with Chrome, though, because that would not be what I want. So this is the cat API. We're just going to go randomized animals. We're not going to do the breed stuff. We're not going to do the cool filter stuff yet. The reason I'm saying we're not doing it is because I was supposed to, I spent too much time on the cocktail API, so I don't want to bite off more I can chew. But we got this here page. We have a random URL. So let's get in JavaScript. Let's see. Well, let's just make, we could go all class oriented. Let's just put it in here raw first. And then response.json. Then what are we doing with these? We're just console logging them because I don't know what's in here. Of course, me doing it like that made it inaccessible to my actual thing. So I have an array of 0. Okay, so when you don't search anything, it just gives you the random one. So let's do some array destructuring. And this is info. Right, yeah, this is info. And then we are going to just console log the info. Console log, I'm getting there. Info.url. Beautiful URL. Let's look at it. This is going to be a good project. Oh, we got a weird thumb in there. I didn't sign for thumbs. I signed for cats. Okay, let's get this HTML going. Did not mean to do that. So let's go with a select. Well, let's go with a select, I said. And this will be all of our options. And it's going to be a dynamic select. I'm not going to fill it out. But it will contain all of our options for which API do you want to get your random animal from. So that's what that's going to be. And now we're going to have our image. And this is literally just going to be existing. I'll have to do some CSS this eventually, but not now. So let's grab our select document.query const select. We'll put it in a variable. Very good. And you know what? I'm going a little too dynamic. Let's just not do that yet. Let's just put this image URL in the actual image. So I mean, still need that. Let's do const image equals document query selector image, then image source equals info.url. Done. That is all we needed. We have the nice image. Let's refresh. Yeah, we got some weird sizing stuff to handle about. That's okay. That's kind of CSS's job, right? Image, max width, what is that? 50 VW, and let's just everything margin auto, right? I'll center stuff. If my CSS was linked up, which it doesn't appear to be. Index.css. Let's look, see where our CSS exists. Do you exist, CSS? You don't appear to. Look in the head. Index.css. I click on you. I want to go to this URL. Thanks, Chrome. It's here. Max width 50 VW. I'm shrinking you. You're not. Okay. We're gonna be weird then. Maybe I'm being weird. What is going on? Okay, I'm losing my mind. Background red. Where's my CSS? I do normalize first. Is this not href? It should be href. Wait, look at the body. Oh no. I have streamer brain. I forgot how to work CSS. This is impressive. Okay, I'm literally gonna have to Google this. I am. Oh, style sheet versus style chat. Oh no. Just that was literally when I was talking about how I don't like all these things will fix your typos, and then I typoed the thing that it wouldn't fix. That's nice. Okay, so body background color red with well let's go back to max width, right? And 50 VW margin auto. Let's do a body display flex direction column. What's the center thing? Oh, it's just yeah, you know, that's fine. I can handle a stretch. Max height. And let's go 80 VH. Seems right. How do I center it? Do I care about centering it? No, so I won't. Okay, this is working. Let's add a button below this select. Not that big of a button. Another one. That seems like a fun button. Let's get that button. Actually, I don't need to get the button. I can just... Actually, I will get the button. We're doing this good. We're gonna write in good code this time. I know, first time. But button, add event listener. Oh, it can be click. Watch me fix... There we go. And then we're gonna do this inside our button. Boom. So watch, we click the button. We get new cat pictures. Loving it so far. Okay, so that part is doing its job. But this ain't very scalable. In fact, this is not scalable at all. So let's get this somewhat scalable. So remember, we're going for randomization first. So we have one source in here. How do I want to do this scalable? We'll start with a basic object. Const sources equals here. Well, so how do I want to scale this? No, we'll go full classic OOP class animal here, animal source, and then we'll say class. Which API am I using? The cat API extends animal source. Right there we go. Now what we want to do, we want to write a method that we can call on all of the animal sources that will do the thing. So this will be fetch random image URL. Very descriptive method. Rather explicit than implicit, right? So we can throw a new error. Not yet implemented. Great error. Now here we're going to watch the autocomplete. Good autocomplete. This, well, these are asynchronous functions too, so we'll make them as async. Very, very cool. Watch me typo async. Autocomplete, or auto format. I didn't autocomplete. And now we don't want to assign this, we want to return this. Info URL. Watch me do ugly destructuring. I'm sorry, it's right. We are destructuring an object in an array. No, this code will be accepted by no company ever. Okay, so this is working. La-di-da-da. Now this is where we start scaling up. So what we're gonna do, how do we get all the subclasses in JS? JS get all subclasses, right? All classes that extend to base. 'Cause I know in Python you can do like double underscore subclass, right? Oh, I gotta do some meta class. Ooh, I don't want to use a decorator. Okay, it's not possible. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Ryan. I do not have a schedule just yet, although it's probably... So yeah, I don't have a set schedule. I have an anticipated schedule, which, yeah, fortunately it's not set yet, so... But I'm feeling like definitely Saturday, like at very minimum. I feel like this is a good weekly spot, so it's either basically the hours I started, like, well, today ain't Saturday, today's Sunday, I'm sorry. So yeah, definitely the longer streams will be on the weekends, so it's gonna be Sunday for sure. Well, it's not gonna be during office hours, so it'll be after office hours. So Sunday one might be shorter. Saturday, those probably gonna be the long ones. These are all EST times. When I do figure them out, I will put them on my schedule page and like have a schedule command. But yeah, for now, I'm only committing to Saturday weekly. All other streams are that you see will kind of be spontaneous. They'll be anywhere between noon and midnight EST. But yeah, Saturday's the only consistent one I'm confident about. I'm pretty sure that internet thing yesterday was a fluke, so should be good. But yeah, thanks for hanging by, Ryan, and thanks for asking. I'll catch you then or later, or I'll catch you when I catch you. So we have a button, right? There's a button, and you know what? The Pomodoro timer ran out probably minutes ago. Might as well take the break on that. Watch me open 5 tabs trying to find this out. Okay, so this is our break. Just because we're taking a break doesn't mean we can't write notes. Although, after the stretch and the eyes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds and take a drink. Oh no, my timer's broken. This is a CSS bug. I fix it. 220. Nope, not that. 280. There you go, I fixed it. No need to panic. The bug has been fixed. But yeah. Including our break. So I have been very productive. I've added 2 to-dos. That's basically what we need to do to get this thing working from multiple API sources. Watch me fiddle around trying to find the right timer. 500. 25 more minutes. You know, this Pomodoro session is probably going to last. Actually, there might be 1.5 more Pomodoros because Lion Wolf is at 6:30, which is 45 minutes, 50 minutes from now, and that is when I will be ending. So let's get this going. Animal source. We want some static things. What do we want static? Value. String. Not with a string with a bracket. Don't need that. And this is title. There we go. 2 animal source properties. We need them on other things. So this is our value. Account API, our title. Account API. You know what? I want to, attribute. Account API. Do I want them? I don't know. This is kind of less readable. You know what? They can figure it out. I'll put it in a attributations thing somewhere. So there we go. That's one. We now do another one because I want to. So let's first unfull screen this. It's not really useful. Let's open the Kanban board. Yeah, so we have, you know what, I want to do something cool. Let's do Shibi. Yeah, so we're doing Shibi, we're doing cat. Where did my cat go? Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom. So Shibi Online. The cool thing about Shibi Online is not only does it just do as it says on the can, but it also does cats and birds. So that's pretty cool. Watch me get a random one. I haven't actually tested this because I want it to, be somewhat real. URLs. What an interesting parameter. Let's see what I say no. Oh. What happens if I say yes? Maybe yes is by default. URLs equals false. Yeah, HTTPS. That's nice of them to make the option now. In case you just want the UID to do something with. That's cool. I want it to be true though, and since it's optional, I don't want to include it. Keep clicking, it changes. There we go. And so yoink, that's another one. Close these, close these. Class. My brain. Okay, what is this? What do I want to call this? Class. Shibi. Shibi. I don't know if I'm saying this right, by the way. No one tell no one. Sends animal source. Async. There's a lot of copying and pasting, so I will do copying and pasting. Shibi, and this is. There we go. Let's use that URL to our lovely advantage. And let's look at the shape. It is an array. It contains a thing. So we are taking first of the array URL, and that is our URL. Amazing. Let's scale it up though. Birds. Let's look at our first bird picture. It's good. Okay. Now this is now you can see I'm already Shibi bird. You can see this scalability. It's not doing too well, is it? But that's okay. We scale what we can and adjust accordingly. So this could be a variant or something like that, but I'm not caring about it. I'm just doing it. Then we have Shibi cat. Because remember, these aren't animals, these are sources. So this is why, while this is duplication, it's acceptable within the scope of my application. Okay, great. So now we need to collect all these sources. Const sources and a giant constant, because I don't know how to do it in JavaScript to get all the all these subclasses of a class. Because in Python you're just like class name dot double underscore subclass double underscore, but in JavaScript apparently it's like we don't tell you, and I'm like, okay. Shibi bird. It's all under the typer, so y'all can't see that. So Shibi cat. There we go. These are our sources. So now this is kind of our initialization code. We need to grab our select. And we need to create append. And I'm going to do something a little crazy. And we're going to do a reduce on these sources. I know. It's a little advanced, but I will explain what we're doing after. So we have a fragment and we have a source. Now, all reduces must start from an initial value, and since my expected return is not going to be a source class, it's going to be a document fragment. I'll need to initialize this accordingly by calling create document fragment. Now that I have that, I need to create an option. Create element option, and then option.text. What do I want this to be? I want text content equals source. Now here comes VS Code. If all the stars align, it will know what I want. The value, there it is. I was about to be like, no, it didn't work, but okay, it is working. So value equals value. So we can see all these autocompletes. This is a good sign that the things I'm doing is working. Now, VS Code don't always work, but it's a good indicator before I even get any of this working that we are on the right track. So I'm setting the text content to title because people like to read good formatted words. Setting the value to value, which is essentially the unique ID, which this will all be looked back up later. I haven't written that part yet though, so it makes no sense. So now this reduce is essentially creating a fragment, which in my is basically a collection of all the nodes, and it's adding that fragment as a child to the one node. And when you do that to a fragment, it kind of explodes all the children. So it adds all the children, even though this is one child, it works. It's like, this is a cool usage of document fragment. Control Shift I, save. So my select should be populated. If I look at it, it's not. Okay. Cat API has already been declared. It has been. That would do it. Look at this. We have one. We have one. Aha. We have one. Don't know why we have one, but we have one. Okay. All that explaining I did apparently was wrong. Option in an option? Oh, I'm turning the option, so it was appending it to itself 10 times over. There we go. Okay, this is good. Now, also we want to select. Change? I don't know. Let's go ahead and destructure the new value out. Actually, no, we're not going to do that because we are baddies writing bad code. Okay, so const, we need to write a function, which needs to be down here. The order of this is really messed up, I know. Const source ID to source equals ID sources that find source that value equals value. I mean, these are IDs, they're values. I'm mixing the names up. I'm not calling them values anymore. I'm refactoring. Watch it work. Here we go. I hit the F2 key, then I hit ID, and it automatically, it doesn't do anything apparently. It was supposed to, okay, it did it for the one. Okay, VS Code can't figure out. I guess they're not actually related, are they? They just happen to be overriding. So that's why I didn't figure it out. But okay, we have source ID to source. Okay, so this will be unchanged, source ID to source. Select that value. This is a fun trick that gives you the selected option value automatically. And then once you do that, we have the source, which we can call fetch random image URL, then URL, and do image URL equals URL, and it ain't working yet because these are all instance methods, and they need to be static methods. So let's find the rest of them. And a static basically means that you can call them on the class. You don't have to create a new instance of the class and call them on the instance. But this should work. No! Cores! Oh, it's HTTP. That's always the first thing. When we see a cores error, make sure you're using HTTPS. No, cores again. Okay, the cat API. No cat API works. No, it's not working. That's okay. We figured this out. So we're just gonna do. I mean, I guess we have to read the error. Okay, let's get another one to get that button working. So the button should work. Okay, let's get the select value. I have to go inspecting the HTML to see what is up. The cat API. Okay, does that give me a good source? It does. Let's look at the network request. Add a URL in the first thing. Fetch random image URL. You're here. It's from the first object. Okay, we need to do some console logging then. Probably I must have messed this up too much, right? That's just URL, right? Mess it up real wild. Console. Okay, yeah, I just need to. I made a lot of assumptions writing this. Let's write this into a single function. Okay, I'm out of names. Do think this is what the name is. No complaints, y'all. Do the thing! Pull the lever, Kronk! Okay, so we're here. Let's see what we get. No, I set URL. It's supposed to be src. Yes, it works. Okay, let's try and figure Shibi out. Shibi online count. Invalid endpoint. Well, that would do it. That would also do it. So maybe this API. No, I didn't test all these APIs out. So maybe this is what's going on. Count equals 1, right? Not secure. I don't care, but that's working. HTTPS. That's also working. I just broke it somehow. Okay, we're going for Shibi. Oh no. That's not a good sign. Let's just go for the fetch. Access to fetch. Okay, there's gotta be a corpse, right? Why would you make... I mean, I guess this is for server APIs or something. Okay, let's figure out... CORS bypass API. There's gotta be a free CORS proxy out here. I want to use Shibi. It's the only one I found with birds. Maybe I should search for CORS proxy. CORS anywhere. Sure, that looks good. Request... Yeah, demo server. I'm sorry. It's in demo server. Can I use this place? Oh, this looks like a good URL. What's my thing? There it is. Maybe you don't want the HTTPS. What do I have to do something with you first? Sure. I don't know what's going on. I'm just clicking buttons and hoping it works. Wait, copy. Oh, copy to clipboard. Okay, I have to do it manually. You don't do it for me? Please work? That'd be really cool. I'd be very happy. Okay, that's the cat API. I know you work. No. If an opaque request, set request mode to no cores to do. But I don't know what mode. No core. I don't know. I don't do this enough to know what that error board. Okay, maybe I could go back. Wait, that was the problem I needed to do. Unexpected end of input. Okay, I need to X and then console log it. Console log it. Give me a Shibi. 404 not found. I want you to... Okay, network tab. I want this API to work. GPU's count. There's a response. It's right there. It's right there. I can see it. I see the response. It worked. Why won't you work? Did you forget that it was JSON or something? Shibi. I see it. Right there. Unexpected end of input. Why are you saying that? Line 30. This is line 39. I'm really confused. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Gene. Glad it glad it was somewhat helpful. Seeing me fumbling through these things one by one. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for following earlier. I'll catch you later. Bye. That's a lag. Response. Why are you angry? Okay, there's stuff here. Body. No. Huh. Does no cores literally mean no content? Prevents from being anything other head, get, or post. I want the data. JavaScript may not accident. What? Huh. Okay, apparently that's what no cores does. No, not gonna need to use that anytime soon. How about mode cores, right? Just try all the things. I just want my Shibi. This person made an API. Okay, you know what? Why isn't this working? Oh, I have to use the big URL. Will the sample thing work? 404 not found. Great. https:// copy the thing, save it. Okay, we use this big URL. Maybe take off mode of cores. Don't know how to handle that. From origin has been blocked by cores. The whole point of this page follow the instructions in the setup section. Okay, I have to read now. I wasn't planning on reading. That's for setting up my own thing. Okay, looking for another. I'm sorry, I'm requesting temporary access to this thing, y'all. How do I use this? I don't want to deal with cores. Wait, literally, how do I use this? Do I just shove the URL as a thing here? Okay. Yeah, I know this is very amazing watching this, me battle cores. How do y'all do it? Okay, I don't see you doing it right. Oh, it's cores anywhere for it's okay, just prefix. I didn't read apparently. No, I read. It just didn't say it here on this page that I read. Missing must specify one of. Okay, yeah, so this is the thing that needs to happen. I clicked copy. I want you to go on my clipboard. Oh, it is on my clipboard. I'm blind again. The reading thing not really helping. Yes, I have cheated the system by using Cores Anywhere to get this API. It's not sustainable, but it works. Oh, I opened all these tabs, right? Okay, so I will fix and find when later. Not now, unfortunately. Big sad. But the bird should work. Well, actually, none of the other ones will work until... Yeah, I know. Not an optimal solution. But it's mine. Shibi, good. Shibi bird. Making me angry. Come on, what is wrong now? I look at the network request and see why it got angry. Invalid endpoint. Oh, because I broke the API, right? So Shibi Online API, Shibi's. This is literally, what did I do here? Birds. The plural of bird is birds. It's probably cats, right? Yes. Should be birds. Yeah, that's a duck. I guess those are birds. Should be cat. Yeah, should be bird. Yeah, another. Okay, I got it working. It's not working well, but it's working. We're using this free thing that's gonna expire like really soon. I mean, like, I think you have to like manually go here and operate it for like it to work. It is course needed. Yeah, I don't want to use this improperly, so I need to see like how I'm supposed to do this on a demo basis. I want to properly use your service. How do I figure that out? Requires an opt-in. There we go. Demo server abuse. Yeah. The rate limit decrease 50 an hour. Yeah, that's a number. Completed a challenge. Must visit to unlock. Self-hosting alternatives. Okay, so this is what I want. Okay, good. So what I need to do is fail to make. I need to handle this and like tell them, hey, this is how you do it, or just yeah, Shibby Bird. So the great thing about this is that you can be like, I don't like this source, and comment it out, which is what I might be doing. But I had more sources, so we go to the Kanban board. What have we done? We have added Shibi. We have added this. We're not adding permalinks. We're adding another one. We're the dog CEO. Let's go. Yeah, we are very much bulk adding all of these. And then, I don't know, we're just bulk adding them all. This is our URL. Well, I want to copy the URL. I don't want your button. It's a beautiful button. I do not care for it, though. Okay, let's scroll down here. Hard paste and copy. It's like this is where the object-oriented is really coming in now. All I do is come over here. I make some changes from Shibi Cat to Dog CEO. Dog CEO. Dog CEO. Watch me say the same thing 5 times. That's not annoying at all, I know. Now we have this API. We go here and we get dot message. Okay, thank you. We destructure message and then we return message. That is our URL. Now I save it. I go back to the thing and I refresh the page. Why do I have to refresh the page? Did I break something? What did I? Oh, I didn't act. So this is the thing. Like, it'd be cool JavaScript if I could just be like, find all the subclasses, but guess not. And there we go. And we will start the break. And I am back. Sorry, that was a bit of an extended break there. Had to step away for a sec. But I am here, and we are going to polish this up. We're going to be running this for 15 minutes, so 16 minutes apparently. That's a good count. And then we will raid Maya and Wolf. Well, let's look at our cute dogs. They work great. We have Dog CEO. Dog CEO works great. Let's add more sources. I think that's all I'm going to be able to do with the remaining time I have left. Okay, so, well, let's not go too far. Let's just do refresh another one. When we refresh, we have an initialize, so I need that to disable all the forms. So when this happens, disable all the forms, so this will be disabled equals true, and then this will be button disabled equals true, and then after this, then I'll remove the disabled attributes. Remove disabled and button remove disabled. Loving it. So when I refresh and look at the network tab, nothing happens. Exactly what I didn't want. What did I do? Look at the network tab. Apparently I'm doing nothing. Do thing. A. Oh, it only runs when you click a button. Right, of course. Why isn't it doing anything? You didn't click the button. Great. This looks good so far. Let's add another source, center this, and get this on GitHub. So, to the board. We have dog API working. I want another one. Let's go bunnies, right? That one looks like a cool API. Who doesn't like bunnies? Everyone likes bunnies. Where's the API? Oh, here's the API. Oh yeah, I never really knew if this one worked. I didn't test this because it's kind of... Okay, hold on, how do I do that? It's this thing right here. Copy as fetch. I'm just gonna shove this in mine, see if it's literally possible. I will not be coursing around to figure this out. Probably help if I would console log the result. Loving it. Okay, let us trim this thing way down. As in, I want none of this. And I want none of that, alright? Then, loving it. Okay, so we literally want this URL. Let's look at the endpoint in the network. Because I actually don't want MP4 AV1. AV1 extension. What is the AV1 extension? It's a video. So they're all videos, which is cool, I guess. It's acceptable for now. Wait, there's a poster. I saw the poster. I want the poster. Where's the poster? Yeah, they're not good posters, but I can use that. Because I'm looking at the network response, right? I'm getting tons of JSON. Am I getting media? Yes, I'm getting media poster. Exactly what I want. Okay, let's do this. Where's my to-do board? I want to add this. I want to be very productive. Oh, Doc CEO's done. Sources have been generalized. We're not doing permalinks. Back to the board. Take permalinks off the board. We're not doing it. Well, we're doing it, but we're not doing it now. Okay, bunnies. Let's do this. Bunnies IO. It's not buggies, it's bunnies, and it's IO. Bunnies IO, loving it. Let's grab that URL. They do not mind because they added no course protections. So they are cool with this. Media, sure. And what if I drop that point? Ooh, media. Media poster. Yeah, I asked just for poster. I love that. So I have no handling for this. So it is media poster. Great. Media poster. Now I have to manually add this because JavaScript. Bunnies IO. Loving it. Close all the tabs. Close all the tabs. Loving it. Not a video, but it's acceptable. Let's center this. We'll get body. Right. VH. That's all I gotta do. I love CSS sometimes. Can I center these, like, not be full width? That would be very cool. On center, justify center, width 80%, margin auto, whoa, margin 0 auto. Yeah, you know, I don't know if I really care, but I do want this select with 80%, and we'll do button with 50. 50, we'll do Vmax, just to be cool about it when mobile comes around. Vmax, and I'll switch these two to Vmax 2, I think. I don't know. What's the margin I need to add? Margin 0 auto, because only horizontal margin. Thank you very much. You know what? We're going to give you some padding top. 3 rems. Whoa, we want margin top apparently. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Margin is being collapsed. How do I resolve this? Padding top. No, I do it with HTML. No one tell Leon on me. He all saw nothing. You see nothing. You do see some pretty cats though. Okay, let's mobile responsive test this. Mobile responsive test has been successful. I need these widths to be max. Where are my things? Max hyphen. There we go. Ooh. I mean, this is acceptable in my case. 360 is an expected size. I need to shrink further. Max width. Vmin. 50%, the smallest one. It's 80 Vmin. It's acceptable. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Account API. Let's add some text here. Choose your source. Ah, great, yes, enter that. Enter the span. Very hard coded, I'm aware. Max width, 80 Vmax. There we go. Ooh, let's add some more. No one tell on me. Loving it. This should also have an onload, right? Let's get this onload going. My order of code is very bad. Let's just call... We're at the very bottom, call do thing. Yeah, we start off in the beginning. Loving it. Now let me open this. Actually, let me open Chrome thing. Not print. I don't want to print stuff. Where are my browsers gone? There we go. Okay, we have this lovely cat. At this point, We are committing. We're going to
This is basically
GitHub.com.
this is like a global.
I think. Yeah, y'all just heard me open, getting ready. Switch on the other tab. GitHub.com. New repository. Let's add all this as the uno first commit. And let's add a readme here. There we go. And what we need to do is we're going to copy the readme of the other one very professionally. Yoink. Well, we want the raw, not. Oh. Fine, we'll take it all. We will take everything you got. Random animal generator. There we go. We are just swapping all these out. A random. Random animal. Various APIs, loving it. Add readme, commit. Get this, what did I call it? Random animal generator. That is my repository name. We add the remote. Where is it? It goes here. And we run this command that has no effect on me because my default was already made. Then we run this get push. The push is already done. Now we set up GitHub pages. Where are my GitHub pages? They're on the settings tab. Over here. GitHub pages. Save it. Then we wait for it. In the meantime, I think this does. I know the timer's got a little more time on it, but we are at the end of the stream. I spent a lot of time on that drink picker API, which is why this thing didn't come as far, but it was still fun in me. Site not found. Gotta wait for Google. I do need to add this. Let's add that page that I need to go to for. What do I call the thing? It's in my JavaScript. In the JavaScript. Yeah. Where are my instructions for how to use this site? There we go. This is it. And here comes the URL. Where is the URL? Cores demo. There we go. So it's this place /cores demo. There we go. Now we add this to the README. There we go. Now at this point, the thing should be way done. Random animal, choose your source. Shibi bird, bunny's IO, looking good. And this is the end of the stream. Amend staged, sync changes, yeah, push. And yeah, so this is it fully working. Here it is if y'all wanted to visit it yourself, see the bad code I wrote. And here's the other one. If anyone wanted to see the bad code I wrote for the drink picker, although that code has gotten a lot better with this particular session at least. And yeah, that is about it. I appreciate everyone who came by. Ryan, Jenny, Dis, Rule too. Thank you for that toggle reminder. And yeah, I have no set schedule, but at the minimum, next Saturday, around the same time, 1 p.m. EST to as far as I'm gonna make it. But yeah, there might definitely be some earlier ones. Appreciate y'all coming by, hanging out. Hopefully I was able to teach you one or two things, if anything. Now, I've never rated a channel in my life, so let me figure out how do I push the buttons. Click the buttons. Start to raid, right? This is the button. This might not work, y'all. Hey, thanks for following along, folks. Mayan Wolf is pretty awesome. Just check her out.
And this is relevant to me just because I am vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for about a decade now. And it's gotten a lot easier in the past few years where more and more products are, explicitly saying, vegetarian or something like that. And oh, hey Rascal, what's up? Thank you for the raid. Welcome.